A calendar changes its date every day, but sometimes one date changes the calendar forever. This is the story of a boy named Matteo, who grew up in a humble, forgotten neighborhood. When he was just a little boy, his mother passed away, leaving a void that could never be filled. From that day on, it was just him and his father, Ernesto, against the world. His father was now the only person he had, shouldering the immense responsibility of raising a child all on his own. Ernesto worked as a night porter at a sprawling, busy market. The hours were long, and the pay was meager, just enough to keep a roof over their heads and put a little food on the table. But even in their most difficult moments, Ernesto's priority was always Matteo's education. He believed that school was the only path to a better life for his son. There were nights when Ernesto would go to bed hungry, quietly setting aside his portion of their meal so he could save enough money for Matteo's school supplies and fees. He never complained, his love for his son a silent, unwavering sacrifice. By the time Matteo turned 12, he had grown up far beyond his years. He understood the weight of his father's exhaustion. Every morning, while the rest of the world was still asleep, Matteo would get up to take care of their small home. He would clean the floors, prepare a simple meal for his father's return, and organize their few belongings. He knew his father would arrive home tired to the bone, and he wanted to make his life just a little bit easier. Their days were a quiet rhythm of shared responsibility and unspoken love. But one day, that rhythm was shattered. News came from the market that Ernesto had suffered a terrible accident. A heavy load had fallen, and his back was severely injured. The doctor's words were a heavy blow. The injury was permanent, and he would never be able to work as a porter again. A dark cloud of despair settled over their small home. Ernesto, once a pillar of strength, was now a man defeated, his spirit crushed by the thought that he could no longer provide for his son. Seeing his father so broken, something inside Matteo shifted. He looked at the man who had given him everything and made a solemn promise. "Father," he said, his voice trembling but firm, "don't worry, I will study. I will become a nurse, and I will take care of you. I will give you a better life, I promise." It was a promise that would redefine his destiny. He knew it wouldn't be easy. He would have to work while he studied, but he was determined to keep his word. From that day forward, Matteo's life became a grueling marathon. After his school classes ended, he would hit the streets, his arms full of candy and cleaning products that he tried to sell door to door. The days were long and filled with rejection. Many doors were slammed in his face. Some people ignored him completely, while others shooed him away like a stray animal. But with his father's weary face etched in his mind, he persevered, saving every penny he earned to pay for his high school tuition and their daily expenses. One afternoon felt like his breaking point. The sun was setting, his feet ached, and he hadn't sold a single thing. He sat on a curb, the weight of the world on his young shoulders, on the verge of giving up. Just then, a kind-faced elderly woman opened her door. She saw the despair in his eyes and offered him a glass of water and a piece of bread. As he ate, he told her his story. Touched by his determination, the woman did something incredible. She went back inside and returned with a small envelope, lending him the money he desperately needed to continue his studies. It was a lifeline when he was drowning. Years passed, filled with tireless work and sleepless nights of studying. Matteo kept his promise. He became a respected nurse at a large public hospital, known for his gentle hands and compassionate heart. He had a special way with the most vulnerable patients, the ones who were often forgotten or overlooked, because he knew what it was like to feel invisible. He poured his own history of struggle and kindness into his work, treating every patient with the dignity they deserved. One day, an elderly woman was brought into the emergency room in critical condition. She had no family, no one to speak for her. As Matteo approached her bedside to check her vitals, he froze. Her face was older, etched with the lines of time, but he recognized her instantly. It was the same woman who who had shown him an unexpected act of kindness all those years ago on his worst day. She, however, didn't remember the young, desperate boy selling candy on her doorstep. Matteo felt a profound sense of destiny. This was his chance to repay a debt that had been weighing on his heart for years. He made sure she received the very best medical treatment, personally overseeing her care and ensuring she was comfortable. He paid for all her expenses out of his own pocket, telling the administration that she was a distant relative. When she was finally stable and ready to be discharged to a care facility, he left a small, anonymous note on her bedside table. It read, "Years ago, you gave a boy a little help. You thought you were just lending him some money, but you were planting a seed. That seed changed my life. Thank you." The story concludes by showing that even the smallest act of generosity can ripple through time, growing into an unexpected miracle that returns to us multiplied. It reminds us that the kindness we give away is never truly lost. It always finds its way back, often when we need it most. If this story touched you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that will help you build your best life. Remember, you are much more powerful than you think. Start building your best self. Until next time.